Venturini is going to have Taylor Reimer and Isabel Robusto back. She's going to be racing Cars Tour race, so she's not in Michigan, but she will be at Springfield, the dirt track. We know this is one of the favorite tracks for a lot of longtime ARCA followers because ARCA race on dirt, short track, super speedway, big ovals. The quick turnaround, though, we know this is not the first year they've done. It's the first time where it's not Watkins Glen and Springfield, but again, this quick turnaround for the teams, for the drivers like Amber, Tony. How would that impact them compared to Isabel and Taylor, who they're not going to exactly have such a quick turnaround, might be a little bit more rested?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Isabella's still got to turn around herself because she is doing her own version of a double with the Cars Tour race, I think in North Carolina on Friday, and then she's got to head up to Illinois for the ARCA race at Springfield. I don't know off the top of my head if that's the first time ever that it hasn't been Watkins Glen. I know it was Watkins Glen last year around this time of year here. So like I was telling you backstage before we started recording, Joe, it's always very complicated putting these schedules together because of what goes on at the fairgrounds and how many weekends a year is even an option. Really, this is the only one I think for ARCA to even have these two dirt races on the schedule, and then with Menard's sponsorship, what goes into how many races have to be within X number of miles within a Menards location. So putting the ARCA schedule together is much more challenging than it may seem on paper. So I know it sounds like a quick turnaround to fans who aren't maybe as familiar with the series here, but certainly not unprecedented to have these two races here in 3 days and a Friday, Sunday doubleheader weekend. But hats off to Venturini Motorsports for giving Taylor Reimer an opportunity again. I know that she was a little bit disappointed in how her debut went in the dirt race last year. So great to see her get another opportunity to come back here this year. I don't know off the top of my head what her weekend schedule looks like entirely, if she's off doing another race this weekend before they head to the dirt on Sunday for the ARCA race. But I remember 6 years ago when it was a big deal for Venturini to have 4 cars in the race, and 3 of them were driven by female drivers. Tony Breininger was a part of that with Natalie Decker and Leilani Munter, and everybody was. I felt a little bit bad for Michael Self. He was kind of getting excluded from the promotional materials or everything because it was such a big deal for those 3. But big deal for Venturini here to have 4 female drivers in this race, and we'll see if Chris Wright gets the Michael Self treatment or not here. But to bring 5 cars out, just generally speaking, is great for the series to help boost the car count a little bit with one of its most storied teams in Venturini, and then 4 of them being driven by female drivers. Great on Venturini and great on Toyota as well for giving not just Taylor this opportunity, but Isabella another start in the series this year as well. And I'm excited to see what Taylor Reimer can do in particular. I think she learned a lot last year in her debut. Let's see how much of that carries over here in 2024.